Jeff Todd from MLB Trade Rumors here. Today is Wednesday, January 29th. Let's get you caught up. Could Dusty Baker get another shot at that elusive ring that he's been seeking? The 70-year-old manager reportedly the favorite now to land as the Houston Astros' next manager. He'd certainly be a calming influence there after so much turmoil in Houston. There are certainly those that wonder whether Dusty Baker is the right guy to turn over a talented team to. After all, despite all of the regular season success that he has had, he's never yet taken a team to the promised land. As for me, I'm one of those that tends to think the postseason results are a little bit hard to focus on. This guy has always gotten wins. He's shown an ability to adapt to the game. He just won 95 and 97 games in his 2 seasons with the Nationals. I think it'd be a great hire for the Astros. The Houston organization also, of course, still looking for a general manager. The team has reportedly now shown some interest in Peter Woodfork, a respected former Diamondbacks executive who currently works in the league office. The club has also interviewed Bobby Evans, the former Giants general manager. What are the things in common about those two? Both highly respected and neither affiliated currently with an organization. That could be a hint as to the direction that they're headed, although we haven't yet heard a full slate of candidates out of Houston. For the time being, owner Jim Crane is still running things in Houston. No matter who the club hires, it's going to be a fascinating spring to watch, all the more so if Dusty Baker is there. The Nationals play right alongside the Astros in the spring. They're going to meet again in July, and by the way, those two teams just finished up a thrilling World Series. Now, we've been wondering a lot lately whether the Reds' recent offseason moves could set the stage for one final blockbuster. That's a team that looks like it could use a new player at shortstop, and there just so happen to be some really high talented shortstops potentially available via trade. A report yesterday gave some credence to that, suggesting that the Indians and the Dodgers and the Reds had talked about 3-team scenarios involving Corey Seager, Francisco Lindor, and young talent coming from the Cincinnati system. At the same time, that report from Ken Rosenthal of The Athletic also indicated that those talks really have not been advancing of late. What about the fact that the Reds just inked Nick Castellanos to a big contract? That does create an outfield surplus, something that the team could draw from in structuring a trade. At the same time, it also added a bunch more money to the team's payroll. The Reds may be tapped out at this point, or at least close enough to it that it would be tough to add a salary as big as Lindor's. There's a further wrinkle here. Eugenio Suarez, the Reds' third baseman and one of their best players, just came down with a shoulder injury. He suffered it while swimming during the offseason. That's rough news for the Cincinnati club. The hope seems to be that he'll be ready fairly early in the season, but it does change things up a bit. Bear in mind that Nick Senzel, one of the players whose role was changed by the signing of Castellanos, could be in play in the infield. He came up as an infielder primarily at second base. He could play there, with new infielder Mike Moustakas going to his natural third to open the season. Whether indeed that's how the club will line up remains to be seen, but it certainly reduces the feeling that there's a need to make a trade. There were also some notable smaller signings yesterday, including some players returning to their homes. Mitch Moreland going back to the Red Sox, and Greg Holland landing back with the Royals. The Cubs finally gave out some guaranteed money, bringing in Steven Souza and Jeremy Jeffress, although it only cost less than $2 million total in guaranteed cash. The Giants will hope for a rebound from infielder Yolmer Sanchez. He signed a minor league deal to go to San Francisco. Also signing a minors deal, Wade LeBlanc, the southpaw, heading to the Orioles. Thanks for being with us today. Be sure to like the video below and subscribe for all of our future YouTube content.